Hello everybody, my name is Rolo, and today we are reading more Reddit stories. So if that's your cup of tea, please do like and subscribe, and let's get into today's story. Thank you very much. Today's story comes from the user OddAtmosphere744 with the title, Should I leave my boyfriend after he gave me a meal with shrimp, even though I'm allergic, and left me alone in the hospital? Hi everyone, I need some advice because I'm going through a situation that is overwhelming me. I'm 24 years old. I've been in a relationship for 3 years, I've lived with my boyfriend for a year, and for the past few weeks, it's been a bit of a fight after a fight, especially since I started a night job, a job I studied 6 years for, and he always knew I would do this job. He doesn't like it because we see each other less, and I sleep during the day while he's working. But that's not even the point. I'm allergic to seafood. The other night we were invited to a friend's house for a party where everyone had to bring a dish. My boyfriend brought back some spring rolls. I was with my family. I went straight to him. I asked him if he made them. He said yes. I tasted them and I could immediately tell that there was shrimp in them. I asked him about it and he replied, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you." Luckily, my friend who is allergic to peanuts had an epinephrine pen and gave it to me. But it wasn't enough. My throat started to swell. The ambulance came and I ended up in the hospital on an IV drip. When I came to, my best friend and parents were there. I asked where my boyfriend was. There was an awkward silence and they told me, "He went out for a drink with some friends. He said we should call him when you left." It really pissed me off. My best friend even told me he seemed completely oblivious to the whole thing. When I got home, we had an argument about his behavior. In a fit of anger, I said, "Did you try to kill me or something?" And he replied, "Too bad it failed. At least you wouldn't be annoying me." I went to my room to cry, letting out my hatred from the evening. We haven't spoken for 2 days. The atmosphere is icy. Not even an apology. Nothing. I tell myself I'm going to leave him, that there's nothing left to save. But I have this doubt in the back of my mind. I talked to my mother, who told me that every relationship goes through problems. But now we're talking about a problem that sent me to the hospital. And I find it strange. He never eats seafood, so why put it in the dish? Maybe I'm being paranoid? What do you think? Am I being dramatic or is his behavior serious? Okay, first of all, Mum's comment is just redundant because yes, all relationships go through troubles. But usually those troubles are not one of the partners giving somebody a deadly allergen, putting them in the hospital, then acting like they don't care about it and telling them that, "Oh yeah, it was an attempt to kill you and it's sad that it didn't work because you're being annoying." So I think that Mum's opinion here should just be tossed out. What he's done is concerning. It's 3 years into your relationship. He knows about your seafood allergy, of course. There is no reason this should have happened. As soon as you reached for that spring roll, he should have said, "Oh, don't do that, there's shrimp, you need to wash your hands." Why did he bring them home? If you're that allergic that just tasting them put you in the hospital like that and the epinephrine pen didn't work, why would he bring your allergen to your home? Why would he cook that in your home? He doesn't care about you. He did try to kill you. That is attempted murder. I really hope OP gets out of this situation. That guy is insane. Anyway, let's move on to the comments. French Stupid Slut says, "So let me start by saying I'm sorry for what's happening to you, but I'm gonna go with this. What the heck is this question? First of all, that is an accident after 3 years together is serious. Without your friend, you might be dead. Then what he tells you after? But seriously, love yourself and dump him." To which OP says, "Thank you for this response. In fact, with everything that has happened, in my head, I tell myself that maybe it's me who is being dramatic, that I need to take a step back, etc. In short, I'm a little overwhelmed by the situation, but I'm going to leave him, and that's it." French Stupid Slut responds to that saying, "Nah, there's nothing to save here. And excuse me, but your mum's completely out of it too. It's impossible to downplay what he did and said, and her attitude when you're in the hospital. Apprehensive flow, rolochronicles346 says, the guy made the spring rolls himself. Putting something you're allergic to on purpose tells you, I quote, taste it. You wake up, he's not there. Did he want to kill you? If you were in the USA, you could have sued him for endangering you. You should even seriously consider it. This guy doesn't want what's best for you. Get away from this person ASAP. Who knows what he'll offer you next time? Ditch him. Chatty Rajesh says, so obviously it's really serious and it seems like he's doing it on purpose. I just want to point out that adrenaline pens, EpiPens, aren't enough. They're used to buy you time, but you still have to go to the hospital after using one. Anyway, ditch him, block him, don't see him alone if you have to get your stuff back. OP responds, yeah, I found out when I finished up at the hospital, unfortunately. The doctor told me that if I'd combined the pills and the pen, maybe it wouldn't have been so bad. OP does come in with a mini update the same day, saying, thanks to everyone for your answers. I'm at work right now, but I took the time to read you and you're confirming what I already knew deep down. Tomorrow, I'm going to get my stuff while he's at work, and I'm going to live with my sister while I find an apartment. And yes, my mother isn't a great role model. She has a very old-fashioned mentality and downplays these kinds of situations a lot. Thanks again for your advice and messages. It gave me the courage to make a real decision, even if it stresses me out. But hey, I'll go with my brother to get my stuff just in case. You never know. And then OP comes in with the actual update the next day. A quick update from this morning. I finished work at 8 AM and a friend came with me to pick up my things. Normally, my boyfriend was supposed to be at work, but unfortunately, he was there. He told me he was sick and asked what I was doing. I calmly told him I was coming to pick up my things and then it was over, that our relationship had to end. He just looked at me and asked my friend to leave so we could talk. Said about how it was his place and we didn't want him there. I refused, reminding him that the apartment is also in my name. There are 2 of us on the lease, so if I wanted, he had the right to stay. For an hour, I emptied my things whilst listening to him call me every name under the sun. My friend and I. He repeatedly told him to speak with his mouth, but hey, we were up against a wall. I grabbed everything and left. I'm going to get legal advice to clarify some things because, to answer those who asked, yes, he knew perfectly well that I was severely allergic to every restaurant. I spent time reading the ingredients, asking questions, etc. For those who ask if it was in his character, no, he was always gentle and caring, so it's very hard to understand what could have happened. But hey, human beings are complex, and I have to remind myself not to dwell on my situation. Yes, I say that to reassure myself. Thank you again to everyone for your messages and support. And before I go rambling on with my stupid opinion, we've got some top comments. French Stupid Slut says, you did the right thing, leaving, and also getting someone to go with you. And having a witness to the insults, plus your friend who saw him give you the shrimp rolls. Hang in there. Block him everywhere. And don't feel bad about the apartment stuff and everything. The sooner you cut all ties, the better it is for you. Amazon Lily Empress says, and quotes, no, he's always been sweet and caring, so it's really hard to understand what could have happened. This part is even more freaky. I think a little investigation on him by the cops would be in order. The sweet personalities, but capable of that, are the worst. So honestly, I don't really have too much to add to the story. I pretty much rambled everything that I wanted to say in my first comment. However, after this update, we can confirm the boyfriend definitely does have something wrong with him. Whether that's, narcissism or sociopathy or whatever, we won't know, OP won't know, and that's good. She got out of there. Good for OP. Unfortunately, he can just move on and do this to somebody else, but that's not OP's problem to deal with. Hopefully OP doesn't try to listen to their mum too much in the future after everything that she said, and yeah. Let's hope that somebody like OP's ex-boyfriend doesn't come into her life again. It seems that she's got a very good support system of friends at least around her, and it's very nice for her sister to offer her a living space while she tries to figure everything out for herself. Overall, an actually good ending to a Reddit story. Obviously, we don't have any further updates, so we don't know if anything happened after that. but I'm just gonna hope that everything went well for Uppy. What do you guys make of this situation? Do you think Uppy made the right choice? Would you have done anything differently in this situation? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for staying with me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!